Your power is your radical self. Find it. Hello everyone. So, we are going to continue with chapter number 9, Heredity and Evolution, in this particular video. To know about gender of an unborn is a common curiosity amongst the people. Whenever we see a pregnant lady or an egg, at that time the only question makes us curious is that whether it will be a boy or a girl. Hello everyone, in this particular video we are going to learn about various ways of sex determination that are present in nature. There are various ways of determining sex of an unborn. The first technique that we are going to see here is chromosomal determination of the sex. That means here chromosomes which are present in the cell are going to determine the gender of the child. Whether it will be a boy or a girl, that is completely controlled by the chromosomes. So in that also there are two techniques. The first technique is XY mechanism. XY mechanism is commonly found in humans and a fruit fly called as Drosophila melanogaster. Let us see how exactly this system works. So, in humans, we have total 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs means total 46 chromosomes are present in human. Out of this 23 pair, 22 pairs are determining the characters apart from gender of a child. So they are termed as autosomes. Total 44 chromosomes are there which are termed as autosomes, and they determine the other characteristics of a child than the sex. And the last pair is known as sex chromosomes or allosomes. These sex chromosomes are similar in female. As we all are knowing that we are diploid in terms of chromosomes. Diploid means chromosomes are in pair. So in the pair of female, or we can say the allosomes or sex chromosomes of female, both are similar, both are identical. That is why the females are homogametic in terms of chromosomes. And when they produce their gametes, they produce the ovum only with X chromosome. Whereas the male is heterogametic. Heterogametic means what? That there are two chromosomes present in the male to determine the sex. One is similar to that of the female, and the other one is actually shorter in the size but dominating, and that determines the maleness. So here in the male it is heterogametic condition. Heterogametic means the gametes are containing both the chromosomes in the ratio of 1:1, or we can say 50-50%. 50% of the sperm cells in the male contain X chromosomes, and other 50% of the sperms are containing Y chromosome. If the X chromosome containing sperm cell fertilize the egg, then both X together will form a female. And if Y chromosome containing sperm fertilizes the egg, then X and Y together will make a male or boy. Why is it so? Because here Y is dominating. Dominating means it will suppress the expression of X and it will express itself. So here the chromosomes are determining the gender of a child, and the gender is fixed at the time of formation of zygote. Whenever the zygote is formed, at that time only the sex or the gender of a child is determined. In examination, many a times questions are asked that whether a female should be blamed for gender of child or not. Previously, value-based questions were there in our paper style. So they were giving you a brief outline, and then after the question was like this: whether a female should be blamed or is responsible for gender of a child or not. So there we are not supposed to write any story, but we have to give scientific reason by explaining this particular method. Clear? This method is called as syngametic sex determination. Here, gametes of the male are determining the gender of the child. Clear? And even the sex is determined at the time of fertilization or zygote formation only. So before the child is born, before that only the gender or the sex is fixed. Clear? So let us have a quick recap of this particular technique. Humans have total 23 pairs of chromosomes, out of which 22 are autosomes, and the last pair is termed as allosome or sex chromosome. These sex chromosomes in female both are homogametic. Homogametic means both are identical, and in male it is heterogametic. Heterogametic means both are non-identical. Female contain both X chromosomes, whereas male contain one X chromosome that is similar to that of the female, and another one is shorter in the size, and that is dominating one, which is responsible for the maleness. So here the female produces the gametes only with X chromosome. 100% of the female gametes are containing only one type of the chromosome, that is X. And male produces 50% of the sperms containing X chromosome and other 50% of the sperms containing Y chromosome. If the X chromosome containing sperm fertilizes the egg, then there will be a girl. And if Y chromosome containing sperm fertilizes the egg, then there will be a boy. So at the time of zygote formation only or fertilization only, the gender or the sex of the child is determined. Clear? So we can say here that male is responsible for gender of the child, not the female. Clear? And chances of having boy or a girl or male or female child is 50-50. So the next technique, that is XX-XO or X0 mechanism, or it is also known as haplodiploidy. Haplodiploidy means haploid and diploid mechanism. Haploid means what? There are only 50% of the chromosomes present in the cell. Diploid means the chromosomes whichever are present are in pair. Clear? So in haploid there are unpaired chromosome, and in diploid there are paired chromosome. This particular technique will determine the sex in grasshopper, ants, bees, wasp and other insects. So let's see how exactly it works. In male there is only one X chromosome, so male is haploid, and in female there are two X chromosomes. So when the female produces the X, 100% of the female eggs are containing X chromosome. But when the male produces the sperms, at that time 50% of the sperms contain X chromosome and other 50% do not have any chromosome that determines the sex. Clear? So again, it will be based on the sperm that fertilizes the egg. If the X chromosome containing sperm fertilizes the egg, then there will be a female. And if an empty sperm, empty in terms of not having any chromosome that determines the sex, fertilizes the egg, then there will be a male. So, males are haploid and females are diploid in terms of chromosomes. That is why this particular technique is known as haplodiploidy. Let's have a quick recap. Haplodiploidy or XO and XX mechanism. In male, there is only one sex chromosome, that is X. And in female, there are two sex chromosomes, XX. Clear? Male produces 50% of the sperm cells which contain that X chromosome, and other 50% do not have any chromosome that determines the sex. Whereas female produces 100% of the egg cells with X chromosome. So, the X chromosome containing sperm, when it fertilizes the egg, at that time it will be a female. And when an empty sperm, empty in terms of not having any sex chromosome, fertilizes the egg, at that time there will be a male. So, this particular technique is known as haploid diploid system or haplodiploidy. Clear? Now the wonder of the natures begin. Here, environment is going to determine the sex of baby. The first factor is temperature. Temperature will determine the gender of the egg in turtle and in lizard. Turtle here is Chrystemma picta and lizard is Agama agama. So in both of them, the temperature at incubation time, incubation means what? Once the egg is laid, and then after it will take time for the development and hatching into a baby. So, the temperature of the incubation period will determine the gender of the child over here. Let's see how. In turtles, if the temperature rises than 33 degrees Celsius, then the eggs will hatch as a female. Whereas, if the temperature is lower than 28 degrees Celsius, then the egg will hatch into male. See how different this particular technique is? The eggs, when they are laid, do not have any fixed gender. The gender will be determined later on during the incubation period. If the temperature of incubation time is more than 33 degrees Celsius, then eggs will hatch as a female. And if that particular temperature is lesser than the 28 degrees Celsius, then eggs will hatch as male. Completely different is there in the lizard. That is, if the temperature is low, then the egg will hatch as female. And if temperature is high, then egg will hatch as a male. So here, the temperature during incubation period of the eggs is going to determine the gender of the child. Clear? Now, this is another case where sex is not at all fixed throughout the life. Again, you will be curious, how is it possible? Right? Throughout the life, sex is not fixed means what? So, example here we have taken is of snails. When the snails are born, at the time of birth, they are male. And as they grew older, they become female. It means they can change their sex or gender throughout the life. When they are born, at that time they are born as male, and when they grew older, they will turn into female. So both the sexes will be present in one life only. That is why here no factors are going to determine the sex. Clear? More surprising way of sex determination is here in a marine mollusk and marine worm. Marine mollusk, here we have taken example of sleeper snail. Scientific name is Crapidula. And the marine worm that we have taken here as an example is Bonellia viridis. In both of them, the sex determination is completely different than the we have discussed so far. So, if the larvae is born without any kind of contact of the same species, then it will remain as a female. But if that larvae comes in the company of a female, then it will develop as a male. So again here something surprising way of sex determination is there. Without any kind of contact, then it will develop as a female, and if comes in the contact with another larvae or another organism that is female, so it will turn into male. So here also the sex determination shows wonder. So this is the end of our question, whether it will be a boy or a girl. In different organisms there are different techniques or different ways to determine the gender of the child. I hope you people have understood this. Now for this particular chapter, only this many topics we are supposed to do. Evolution part from this chapter is already omitted by government, so we are not supposed to prepare it for the examination. Clear? So this is our last video. Read the chapter thoroughly, prepare the notes, and if you find any difficulty, then feel free to contact.